Team, hi. Okay, Happy New Year. It is actually January 1st when I'm filming this. I finished a book series. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns duology. This is gonna be a book review. First half is gonna be spoiler free. If you should read it, if you shouldn't. The second half is gonna be everything spoilers, everything rage. Let's get into it. This is a duology by Rachel Gillig. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. It's called the Shepherd King duology. I rated One Dark Window, I would say a 4.5 out of 5. Genuinely, a 4.5 out of 5 for this book. Feels comfortable. And then Two Twisted Crowns, I would give it a 4. Not 4.5, but 4. But honestly, if we're zooming out and giving the whole duology and series as a whole, it's a 5 out of 5. Okay, no hesitation there. The covers are absolutely beautiful. The only thing I didn't like looking at the cover is that One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns uses the same like picture of a girl in a red dress, and it just looks so photoshopped. Like on the back here, it's literally so not pixelated, but like low quality printed on there, and that was just agitating, but whatever. I hate to admit the fact that these took me a very long time to finish. One Dark Window, I started it, actually let me look, because this is gonna look really bad. This is gonna be very embarrassing. I started One Dark Window in May. I finished it May 10th. I finished it June 3rd. And then Two Twisted Crowns, I literally finished around 9 p.m. December 31st, 2025. I could not let the new year start still having to finish this duology. The reason I didn't finish so quickly is not because the story wasn't good. It was so good that I fell into that thing where I just wanted it to last as long as possible. So I started dragging my feet with the first one. That's why it took me almost a whole month to finish it. If I was speed running the duology out of craving for it, I would have finished the whole thing in like 3 weeks. I'm not even joking. It was that good. It was so good, in fact, that I wanted it to last way longer than is appropriate, I would say. So it took me half the year to finish these 2 books. I feel free. I feel, although sad that the series ended, I feel relieved that I can now start another book, because something that I was very strict about with myself in 2025 was not reading multiple stories at the same time. Like if I were reading a nonfiction, you know, psychological study and then reading a fantasy, like that was okay. But even then, like I would just get too jumbled up here and it was agitating to say the least. These two literally pumped the brakes on my entire reading year, and I think I read maybe like 10 books this year, these two included. And I finished the second one yesterday. So that was agitating. I have to stop doing that. If something's good, I have to just enjoy it while I can and stop trying to drag it. Because what I would do is like I would read a couple chapters here and there like every couple days, and it was like so good and juicy. But it took me way too long. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, this duology follows Elspeth Spindle. She lives in a city called Blunder. Blunder has a magic system of Providence cards who were created 500 years ago, and each card has a special power or special thing, and there's 12 of them. The first card, there's only one. It's called the Twin Alders card or whatever. The second card, there's 2 of them. The third card, there's 3 of them. The fourth card, there's 4, and so on. And each card gives you a special power when you like tap it either 2 or 3 times. It gives you a special power. However, the longer that you're under that magical spell of the card, the more of a physical tax it takes on your body. And then on the other end of the card, there is like a sickness that they call when the magic kind of infects you and then your blood goes black, so you have like black veins, and you get a special power as you have that magic that you can't get rid of, you can't heal from it, and it degenerates you over time. So everybody ends up dying if they contract the sickness because the magic kills them from the inside out. The town Blunder is basically cast in this crazy fog and mist, and there is this like god-like entity that kind of like runs the whole thing and is the one to answer. The mist smells of salt and is very intoxicating. If you are in the mist without like a magical charms, a specific charm that you can like wear as a necklace or have in your pocket or like wear as a bracelet, whatever. If you don't have a charm while you're in the mist and the salt overtakes you, pretty much it like takes control of your body and it takes control of your senses, and you basically just end up running into the mist like a crazed person, and you just run off and you're like superhuman at that point. Nobody ever comes back from that. So it's like scary. You just disappear and whatever. So Elspeth touches I don't know actually how much I want to tell, but basically the story follows Elspeth through a journey with certain people in the book, and I'm trying not to spoil anything right now because she has she's infected. She's infected. It's her journey, okay? It's trying to get rid of the magic system because it can be healed if you conjoin all of the cards at once and you do it on a specific day, like the solstice, and you have like blood of an infected. Like it's like this, basically this ritual you have to do to get rid of to lift the mist and heal blunder. Yeah, and it gets rid of like all the bad stuff of the magic, pretty much. It's very action-packed. It's very anxiety-inducing, but it's really good. And it's not cringe. I was so pleasantly surprised to read a fantasy duology that didn't make me cringe at certain points. The end part gave me a lot of anxiety. Like I was having to put the book down and be like, it felt like I was like literally living it. The way that Rachel Gillig writes is something to applaud. She is very talented. I'm hoping to read more of Rachel Gillig this year after reading this duology because I'm just blown away. It's so refreshing. I'm very excited. 100% I recommend this duology. I would give it a whole 5 out of 5. Individually, the first book I feel is better than the second book because it felt more vibrant. The second book was stressful and scary. And although very, very, very good, it just felt like it got very serious very quick. I'm like, I cared so much because Rachel Gillig does an amazing job at building the characters to seem like real people, and you root for them and you want them to do well. Also, there's a subplot of romance. I ate that up. I ate it up. There's 2 romance subplots. Belly full. Thank you, Rachel. Spoiler full part now. Let's get into it. Raven and Elspeth. I need a smut chapter. I wanted more of them immediately after the, oh my god, the infection. The nightmare. I wanted more detail, more everything. I wanted a couple of scenes of Elspeth and Raven meeting each other after the nightmare died and left. I needed that. I needed the intimacy, and we didn't get it. And thank that there was an epilogue because I was very scared. Like reading this book last night, New Year's Eve, right? I'm like around a whole bunch of people. I'm trying to hurry up because I don't want to be rude. And I'm like pretty much like right here. I'm like this, right? This is like the beginning of an extras. This is the beginning of another book she has called Half Souls. And this was what was left of the entire book. I'm thinking, I know I'm not gonna end up satisfied because I want only this much of Raven and Elspeth after the nightmare died. I wanted this much. But you know what? I was satisfied enough with Ione and Elm. Their story, oh my god, wow, yeah. And maybe it's because Elm's kind of my type, I don't know, like I like that, I like him. I like Ione too, oh my gosh, that whole thing, like with the maiden card, fuck Hoth. I wish that Hoth wasn't under the maiden thing when they stabbed him in the chest because it seemed like he couldn't really feel all the pain by how Rachel wrote the chapter. But whatever, I'm so glad he died. And I'm so glad that everybody was so cunning and intelligent and like schemy. Also, I love the be wary, be clever, be good. That is a banger. Who else? Tyron Hawthorne, electric chair. Eric Spindle. That's kind of my type. Raven, there was a lot to him. I feel like he is the most dense character I've ever read. And not dense in like the slow, dumb way. Dense in intricate and complicated as a person, as an individual. Like, it felt like I met a real person. I felt like I watched a real person. I feel like he is real. He was just beautifully developed. It was very impressive. Elspeth being stuck in Bro's head was stressful. I didn't know if she was ever gonna come out. I like the Nightmare. He's funny, he's fun, you know, he's like witty and sharp. That was very fun to read about. He was refreshing as a character. Don't know really what happened with Elspeth's stepmom. Like she mentioned at the end at Ione and Elm's wedding that her stepsisters were there and that her stepmother was yelling at them, but like I wanted her to die kind of, so I like feel unsatisfied on that regard. I like that there's now a new bloodline, Elm's bloodline, I think, right? Elm's not the sick kid. Yeah, the king of Elms. That is so cute. Renelm, I guess his name is now Renelm Elm, but that is really cute. I like that the nightmare had faith in Elm. Who else? I hated the destriers. Also, that's how I said it in my head the whole time. Destriers. That was a confusing word for me, and that's okay. This was such a refreshing read. Like, very unique in its magic, very unique in its world building. I've never read anything like it. Obviously, I read quite a bit of fantasy, and I feel like everything has to be different within, you know, some type of boundary guide. But this was like new. It felt like it just kind of broke out of that mold. There's been a couple fantasy books that I read and there's like reused vernacular or similar characters, similar species in them. And here it just felt very new. It felt brand new. I was, you know, it had me by the neck the entire time. Loved it. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever, 2 out of 2, whatever your scale looks like. It's basically maxing out the scale. I hold this duology very dearly. Did it change my life? No. Will I make a playlist? No. Will I make a Pinterest board? No. So like, you know, it's not peak for me. Happy 2026. My goal for 2026, amongst other things, I feel like I freaking say this every year, is just to be more intentional about my reading. And I would like to come back to my YouTube channel. I feel like, you know, I get a lot of comments on book reviews, so I want to keep sticking to that because that's the part that I enjoy the most. So it's basically just going to be fully books, but I feel like I've built a tiny, small, cute community on here and it's just fun and I want to stay here. It's cute and fun. My next book to read is on my bookshelf. I think it's up here. You can't really fully see it, but that one I'm really excited about too. It's fiction. I don't think it's fantasy, but maybe it is. My book review will be up here soon. I've got a busy year coming up, so I'm gonna do my best, as I do every year, but I will not delay to drag out a good storyline any longer. I feel like it just takes the joy out of it, and then by the end, I'm just kind of like, oh, I did it, instead of like, yeah, that was awesome, you know? Should I make a TBR for 2026? I don't know. But I did write out my review for the show Arcane because I watched that. That was bomb. That did change my life a little bit. So I filmed a review, but it wasn't as in-depth as I'd liked it to be. So I wrote out all my thoughts and I will try to film a review about it. I feel as though creative shows, not so much movies, but creative shows that break the boundary of, you know, regular TV that we watch and movies are in the same realm for me, in the same realm of creativity, of characters, of development, of just sucking you in and spitting you out. And you're like, what the hell just happened? You know, like I love that feeling. I think I'm gonna put an Arcane review up soon, but I just wanted to get this one out because thank God I just finished. Like I feel like I've been talking about it forever on here and I've just been lacking hard. So yeah, Happy New Year. Be wary, be clever, be good.